All right, 6th grade, this is 3.6. I believe this is the last lesson of chapter 3. So let's take a look. I am on page 148 in the book. So key vocabulary. We have two properties of addition we want to talk about, the commutative property and the associative property. And I'm going to explain them with examples. I didn't leave a lot of room, so I'm going to put this one. 3 plus 5 is the same as 5 plus 3. So the commutative property says we can change the order we add in. That's it. The associative property says if we are adding 3 or more numbers, we can add them in any order we want. We could do 2 plus 3 first, or we could do 3 plus 5 first. Depending, it doesn't matter. We can add in any order and still end up with the same answer. That's the associative property, is when you move those parentheses around like that. Okay, so let's use those. And example number 1, adding and subtracting decimals. The biggest thing you have to remember when you add and subtract decimals is to line up your decimals. And sometimes you have to add zeros because you're going to end up with what I like to call empty places. So here's 9.8 and 2.12. And when we add these, just to fill them so they're lined up nice and neat, we're going to fill that empty place with 0, and you're just going to add, and you bring the decimal straight down. So 11.92. Notice they're doing the same thing, 11.92. Now when you subtract, the same thing here, except look at 8. 8 minus 1.65. The point on 8 is right here, but I have to add 2 zeros, which look what happens when you subtract. You can't take 5 away from nothing. So you have to go all the way over to the 8, borrow, make it a 7. That becomes a 10. We borrow, becomes a 9. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 6 is 3. And 7 minus 1. And you can always add to check your work. That makes 10. Where's the 0? Carry the 1. 10, 0, carry the 1. And if you want to write it, sometimes it's worth the effort to check your work, because sometimes we make mistakes when we borrow. And it worked out. So let's see how they did it. Same thing. They didn't show all their work, but got the same answer. So this one, we're looking at a lot of place values again. 8.75, 6.394. Adding, there's that empty place. 4 or 14, carry the 1. That's a 3, bad writing, sorry. Bring the decimal straight down. 15 and 144 thousandths. Okay, now throwing a little algebra in, they're just going to ask us to evaluate. Evaluate. A lot of people get freaked out when they see evaluate. It's just a fancy way to say, hey, find the answer. So 20 minus x when x is 4.71, so 20 minus 4.71. Now notice why I put the 4 under the 0 and not under the 2 is because I have to line up the decimals, and the decimal's on 20. The decimal on 20 is on the back end of it, and I fill those empty places with 0. Can't subtract those, so I got to go through and do all this borrowing. So there's 9. 9 minus 7 is 2. 9 minus 4 is 5, and bring the 1 down. And just because sometimes I make mistakes when I borrow, I'm going to check my work. 0, carry the 1. 0, carry the 1. There's my 20. So I know I'm right. A lot of people don't like to check their work, but is that what I got? 15.29? Yep, there it was. Example 3, using mental math to add decimals. Find the total cost for sweet rolls. That costs $1.30, 2 hard rolls that cost $1.20 each, and a coffee cake that costs $3.70. So we got a sweet roll. If we take and line those up, total cost for sweet $1.30. And then $1.20 and $1.20, we got that twice, and $3.70. Okay, so if you look at that, we start looking at some mental math. We can do lots of things. $3.70 and $1.30 makes $5 right away. That's $2.40. 5 plus $2.40 is $7.40. There's lots of ways you can add those together. Let's see how they did it. They listed the prices. They rearranged them. I just kind of put arrows. Oh, they did the same thing. Look at that. So evaluate the expression when x equals 5.82 and y equals 9.1. Okay, so 4.7 plus x, make sure you're substituting in the correct number. So 5.82 is x and 4.7, and I can add in any order because it's the commutative property. And bring the decimals down, 10.52. There it is. 12.56 minus y, I have to keep this in order subtraction. You can't change the order, minus 9.1. Notice how I had to put the numbers under there because I had to line my decimals up, so empty place. So 6, that works out good, no borrowing. Whoops, that's a 4. To borrow here. 12 minus 9 is 3. And we can add to check. We get 6, 5, and 12, and it adds and checks. 346. Y minus x, so 9.1 minus 5.82. Notice I got an empty place. Borrow, that's 8. That's going to be 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. 8 minus 5 is 3. 3.28. Guided practice electronics costs. Find the total cost for a pair of headphones that cost $19.75. 2 compact discs that cost $11.50 each, and a pack of batteries that cost $4.25. So the headphones is $19.75. 2 compact discs are $11.50 each. Got 2 of them. And $4.25. Notice I'm lining up my decimals. So I just add 0, carry the 1, that's 10, 17, 18, 19, 20, carry the 2. That's 10, that's 15, 16, 17. Bring my decimal down, carry the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. You would spend $47. There we are. All right, in the bottom of page 149, and I did this when we were talking about the the vocabulary. There's key concepts. And they give you examples of the commutative property. It's just showing, like I showed you, 2 plus 5 equals 5 plus 2. And then it shows you algebra. A plus B equals B plus A. And that just stands for numbers. And then they show you the associative would be 2 plus 5 plus 4, and they have the parentheses around the 2 and the 5, equals 2 plus 5 plus 4, and they put the parentheses around the 5 and the 4. And then the algebra, A plus B plus C, and they have it around the A and the B and the C. Ready to go. Tell whether the commutative or the associative property of addition allows you to rewrite the problem as shown. Explain your choice. Okay, they switch the order. So by switching the order, that is the commutative property. Okay, that's what allows you to switch orders. Now here they move the parentheses, so that's the associative property, is when you change your grouping. Okay, example number 5. Standardized test practice. It says you purchase a rare book for $97.56. You then decide to sell the book at an online auction for $141.82. The auction charges you $8.25 in fees for the use of their service. How much did you earn by selling your book? All right, well, let's see. Let's subtract. You sold it for, let's subtract what you sold it for from what you paid. That'd be a 6, that'd be a 2, 4, 13 minus 9 is 4. So without the fee, you made $44.26. Look, they have it up there, but we still, out of that money, have to pay them $8.25 for the service. $36.01. That's what you had to pay. And there would be a couple of ways to do that. You could have added the $8.25 on before and only subtracted once. And they subtracted twice too, just like we did. Is that what we came up with? Boy, it must be getting late. Yep, we did. I can't remember what I'm doing. All right, so the last, tell whether it's commutative or associative. Commutative or associative. So this one, they're changing the grouping, so it is associative. So write associative. And then it says, then find the sum. So let's find 6.4 plus 4.8 is 2, carry the 1, 11.2 plus 5.2 is 16.4. Oh, and they don't do that. Sorry, you go back there, or they're switching the order on number 6, so it's commutative. And let's find the sum, 9.3 plus 2.9. 12.2, and let's just prove that it's the same. So I write it in this order. If my pen will work. That's 12.2. It comes out the same. All right, suppose you bought a book in example 4 for $78.45 and you sold it for $126.78 at the auction and the fees were the same. How much did you earn? So again, let's subtract $126.78 minus what that book cost you. Let's see, 6, 7, 8, that'd be 18, 11 minus 7. You'd make $48.33, but the fees are the same, so you have to take out that fee. $48.08 or $40.08. There you go. That wouldn't be bad. That's pretty good money. All right, so remember, you're lining up the decimals. You're looking for those properties. Make sure you show all of your work. I don't want to see just answers. See you later.